Got the 141 out here. And I want to dump some gravel on the road way over there. It's really dry here. It's actually really hard to tell where any of the mud spots are. But the gravel I want to get is up here. There's a way to drive. And there is a bit of a gravel pit over here. But it's kind of dirt. It's kind of more dirt now. There's a bit of gravel here. Now this is a really fun place if you had a motorcycle drive around. And then there was gravel that was, I think someone bulldozed a path down here. So the good gravel is up top here, so I can drive through here and then go right there with the tractor. So I'll drive up here and then might clear a few of these trees out of here. And then I'll just start scooping, around here somewhere. So there's kind of a lot of big rocks, so it won't matter. You could just move the big rocks later. And yeah, so I might just kind of clear it here and then clear some of the dirt off here. Maybe some of these bushes too. Then I'll just keep getting gravel in there are big rocks, and I'll chuck those off later, and then most of the stuff looks like that. So it's not very good gravel, but you get what you get. Otherwise, there's just a hole in the road over there. So this is where I'll be getting the gravel from. It's still like almost kind of a far route. But I take gravel from here, dump it over there. If I had a dump truck, I'd have the dump truck up here, and then, or if there's a better spot of gravel somewhere else, have the dump truck here loaded up. So that tractor's tall enough to load an old International dump truck. So then you could just dump a whole bunch in there at a time. And me and my uncle went in here. I think he had I forgot what tractor he had, but I had the blue tractor. And we dug this ditch in here. And I think I came back and did more with the 108 too. And this side doesn't really need a ditch, so we didn't dig one. So we dug it out here. And it continues. It just doesn't look like it. And then here's one of those weird low spots, so I want to just continue dumping gravel. And the big rocks, will move those later. And over here is a bad spot. So I dug it out here. I dumped the material here. It's like really bad ruts here. There were big holes in the road, and there still are. It's kind of a hole right here. I want to fill that. So this is the part I'll be focusing on. So, yeah. I'm going to start by dumping some in here. And then we'll see what happens. I'm going to dump it a bit back. I might not do any more, because really you need a dump truck or a wheel loader. The dog appeared. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to get those International dump trucks fixed next year. I'm going to try to fix those. They both one of them needs a clutch. Whichever one I fix, they both have the same issues. So if I fix those dump trucks, then something like this would be a lot easier in the future. And there are lots of roads like this that need a little bit of work, but they're nowhere near any good gravel. I mean, these roads don't have to be gravel. But there's lots of little areas like this where they could be gravel. So eventually I want to get the dump truck working and to dump more material in here at a time. And I think my uncle is thinking of buying a bulldozer. Bulldozer or an excavator. I think he's been looking at some bulldozers. That would also be a good machine. And then the little crawler tractor, the universal. If we fix that, you might be able to do a little bit of light dozing with that. But I'm gonna just start dumping gravel in here and then see what happens. This is what we got so far. So I'm gonna do more of that. More over here, I think. And I think that will work pretty good. Because I think he was a bit low in here, and then the water in the springtime would flow over the road a bit. There's a culvert in there somewhere, so I just continue piling gravel, and I'll smooth it out later. It actually turned out to be some pretty good gravel in here. So now I have the basic shape over there. So now I'm going to try to get some of the nicer, lighter gravel. Like there's some better stuff in there. And I'll sprinkle that on top and we'll start to level it out. So it's a little rough in here, but it's a pretty good open gravel pit now. Now it's kind of hard to scoop it up because there's no teeth on that bucket. But really, we have a Clark Michigan wheel loader. That's the tool for this job, 100%. But the tire's not on it, so. And then all the slag I dumped there. That's all the trees and roots that were growing on it. So now you can go in here with a tractor. And that bigger tractor, bigger bucket makes quicker work too. So that big tractor does a pretty good job. And also the rear tires spin sometimes, so that's actually a nice thing because it kind of digs up the sod. So then if I wanted to, I could start scooping here. So that, and there's a few trees here. But this is actually not a bad gravel pit right here. I mean, this whole hill, like 20 feet down, I think is also gravel. So this could be a big gravel mine right here. So, I mean, if you wanted to, I think the good idea would be to just clear all the dirt away and then make it so it's kind of a good spot of gravel on the side of the hill. And then you can get gravel forever if you wanted to. But, I mean, we don't need a lot of gravel right now. And if you don't have a dump truck, there's no point digging this up for nothing. But if I get those dump trucks going, we can start fixing all sorts of roads. Like the roads going up to the hay shed, going up the driveway, the roads in our summit pasture, and our lake corridor, roads everywhere. You could really do a good job if you had a little old gasoline dump truck. That would be it's a good machine. I want to fix it. I'm sure I will. And the wheel loader should be fixed too. It just needs a tire. Just haven't found one yet. So I got the basic shape of this road. So, no, it's nice and level. No, and I'm gonna dump a little bit more over here. And then I'll try to dump as much small stuff as I can on top of this. That way I can backblade it, and then the big rocks don't stop the tractor from backblading. It just bounces over those things. So I'll try to pull all the big rocks out, but see, it's a little rough over here. But it's already built it up nicely. So I think I need a bit more fill before I start backblading. Give it more fill. So I'll fill up some more here and then more over there. And then this probably shouldn't get muddy again, unless it's a really wet year or so. But it's looking much better than it was. Well, the secondary or first boss, well, there's three bosses. There's Grandpa, Uncle, and my mom. I said that weird, but anyway, this is about as good as it's gonna get. I still don't like it, but the minute I try to backblade it, it just slides over rocks and doesn't really work. See, if I use it's slightly zoomed in, it's like more square on this camera. You can actually see such a bulb-like camera, but see, there's a difference between the wide view. That's the wide view, and then this thing doesn't work right. But and zoom it in a bit. It's a bit different. So kind of makes it, you can kind of tell that it's a bit straighter, or yeah, the camera is not as wide when it's zoomed in, so it films a bit straighter. See, there's a dip down here that I don't like. That's about, there's two of them, but this whole road isn't that even. I don't think it matters, because it's better than it was, and there's not really much. I mean, all the gravel up there, there's so many rocks in it that really it's hard to make any good difference. So it's better than it was over there. It still has a few bumps in it. There's big rocks everywhere, so they never stop. It doesn't matter where you get there. You know, there's gravel up there, and then there's dirt. I don't want the dirt. It's just kind of hard to make it level here. I could maybe backblade it some more, but it might kind of mess up this area here. And it's not that bad. I mean, it's not just meant for hauling hay and farm machinery. You're not going too fast through here, so it's not terrible. And it's kind of difficult to get another bucket in here. I could do it, but it might mess something else up. So I think it's probably okay the way it is, and I already backbladed in here a bit. It didn't really do anything because there's too many big rocks to backblade it. So this is the area I wanted done, and this area is much flatter. There's a lot more material here. So this area was the part that was bad, and then I fixed that. So I didn't really have to put too much gravel here, but I did put some, just so that it was leveler. It did good enough. If I try to, well, actually, what I'm gonna do is just wait for it, see what it does in a year, and you know, if it gets really muddy or washes out again, then we'll do a bunch more work on it and fix it up till it's perfect and put a new culvert in. So if you need to put a new culvert in, you have to dig up a spot in the road anyway. But I drove over it. It's a little bumpy, but it's not that bad. Better than it was. No, I've been driving over it with the bumps, with quads and pickup trucks, and it really doesn't matter. It's good the way it is. So I guess we're done here. And this tractor and the big bucket did a pretty good job. So I guess that's it for this video.